You guys might recognize these hanging pots. They live outside in my courtyard right in front of my living room window, and usually they look beautiful. Now, they do have a couple of pretty blooms, but they are looking pretty rough. I have been working with hanging baskets for a long time. I've always had patios, and this is a great way to bring in color and interest into your patio, but they can be a lot of trouble. I have figured out a few ways to keep the soil moist, to keep the water from running out all over the place, and to keep nutrients in here. So that's a little tip I want to show you. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before. And also, if you're not going to be planting the whole pot today, maybe you've started some seeds and you want to wait for those to germinate and get bigger, I'll show you a way to put a placeholder in there so you can just pop it in when it's ready. Hi, I'm Sonia with Suburban Gardening, and these pots are looking terrible. They're hanging plants, and as you can see, I've got some behind me. I actually have about 9 in my entire garden because I have a lot of patio, and this is what really helps bring in some really pretty color. But I'm going to pull these out of here so you guys can see my little secret that I use, and we're going to repot these. They're going to look completely different, but they're going to look so gorgeous, and they're going to last all through the season. I'm not going to have to be messing with these in another couple of months. They're going to last probably all the way through fall. I need to get this chain off of here so we can see what we're working with. As you can see, I have one of these hanging baskets that has the cocoa liner, which I absolutely love the way they look in the garden. But these cocoa liners breathe and they leak water out so fast, and it causes the dirt to get super dry and super hard really fast. And I want you to see what I put down in there so that doesn't happen to you and we can have these beautiful cocoa liners. But the one thing I wanted to show you was when I take that little chain off, I put a little piece of red tape here because I don't always remember where I took the chain off from. This way it's a lot easier when I go to put everything back together. Okay, we're free. I'm just going to lift it out and see what happens. Well, it came out in one piece, so that's wonderful. This cocoa liner is in perfect condition. I just changed it last fall, so it really didn't have time for the squirrels or the birds to eat it up too much. But I wanted to show you how you measure the cocoa liner. If you need to order some of these to replace, to put some new ones in your pots, all you do is just take a measuring tape and go straight across the top like that. This is 14 inches. So when you go shopping for a cocoa liner, you're going to want one that's 14 inches. Some of them are 12, some of them are 16. So you just measure straight across the top. There are a couple of plants in each one of these pots that I'd like to save. The geraniums, even though they're looking a little tired, they just came through the winter. So I think if I repot them and give them some fertilizer, they're going to pop right back up. And there's also a trailing geranium. I all grew these from seeds, and they're doing just wonderful. They just need a little of attention and some water and some fertilizer. So as I'm pulling them apart, I'm going to try to save them. I would like to put this trailing geranium back into this pot if I can. See if I can get this out so I could show you what I did. So basically what I did was I just put one of these plastic saucers, these are plastic plant saucers, on the bottom. I put it, let me show you inside. I put this down in the bottom. It's a 10-inch plastic saucer, and it stays in there, and I put dirt down in here so the dirt stays wet. And then the roots come down in here and they can find water. It doesn't address these sides right here, but we're going to address that in a few minutes. But this is a great way. If you have any of these, place it down in there, and then when you water, it will catch some of the water. It won't all come out the bottom, and it catches the nutrients as well. This is a little bit different of an application that I actually think works better. Now, if you only have a saucer to put down in there, it actually works pretty good. So, but what I want to show you is these are called 12-inch deep saucers, and you would put your plant inside here just like you would a small one if you were watering it, so it wouldn't run out and so it could suck, drink the water up in there. So all I've done with this one is that I've cut it into triangles. I've just followed along with the pattern that it already had inside. And when I put it down in here with a small saucer, it actually causes almost a complete liner all the way across. Now the water isn't going to be coming out the sides or the bottom. It does have drainage right down here where I cut it, but mostly the water and the nutrients are going to stay inside of this cocoa liner here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fill it up with dirt and plant something. Just make sure that you get everything centered. I also think that this helps the cocoa liner not rot so fast. But it doesn't take away from the space inside of the basket at all. Isn't that great? We're going to have fresh new soil in here. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add some fertilizer. And what I have here is some continuous release plant food. This is perfect for pots. I don't recommend putting this in the ground, but it's perfect for pots. It comes with a nice little measuring spoon. And what is going to happen with this is it's going to be time releasing all of this nutrients a little at a time all through the season while the plants are vigorously growing. So I really like this. Now, that's not the only fertilizing that I do, and I'll definitely let you know how I do the other kind. But I want to just mix this down in the soil a little bit because I want it to be down where the roots are going to be. So that was so simple, wasn't it? And we've got the continuous release fertilizer in here, and now it's time to do the fun thing and put some plants in. I was over at the nursery and I picked up some beautiful petunias. It's early March and my seedlings are just getting started. So in about another month and a half or two, I'll have all kinds of plants. But right now I want these pots to look beautiful. So I just got a nice 6-pack. So the petunias look great. They'll drape over, lots of flowers, absolutely beautiful. But did you ever consider putting strawberries in your hanging pots? They look absolutely beautiful. So that's one thing you can do. And I have a climbing geranium, which we're going to put in today. And it made it through the winter time, but the flowers are just so beautiful together. Let me go ahead and pop those in, and then I'm going to show you another little trick that I do. I want to show you how I put these plants in. Now they're a little bit root bound, not too bad, so I roughed those up a little, but I am planting them just about an inch away. I'm leaving about an inch of soil and I'm pushing them up against the wall like that. And then I'm going to fill soil all around in here. The reason I do it that way is because I want to put a big plant right in the middle. Okay. So it's pretty symmetrical, maybe not perfect, but pretty nice. And they're going to hang down and look beautiful. I have this beautiful Gerbera daisy. These are my absolute favorite flowers in the garden. And I try to grow them every year, and I just love having them. Are you guys seeing the hummingbirds just whizzing by me? They're having a blast. I'm just going to take that out of the pot for a minute so I can show you what I was talking about. If you know that there's different plants you want to put in here and they're just not out at the nursery or your seeds aren't ready yet, go ahead and bury one of these cans all the way down. Now I push the soil around it pretty firmly so it'll make a perfect little hole, but I'm going to leave that can in there just like that. And when the plant that I want either grows up big enough from my little nursery to come in here, or I see one at the nursery that I want to plop in, then all I have to do is take the can out and there's a perfect hole. I don't have to be in there messing with the roots or anything like that. I'd like to leave the Gerbera daisy down in here for right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the bottom. And that way the roots will be able to go through and it won't be too much stress on the plant. Woo. What a nice hole. Okay. Beautiful. Isn't that fabulous? That is so fabulous. I love it. Can you see the difference in this pot already? It's just made all the difference. Now I could absolutely leave this like this. It's perfect. And these guys are going to get huge. They're going to grow. I mean, they're going to hang down about 10 inches at least on all sides. So it's going to be big and beautiful, but we don't want to stop there. I harvested some nasturtium seeds last spring, and I'm going to pop some of those down in there too. They're probably yellow. I forgot to mark my pack, but I hope you can see how big they are. These are such large seeds that you don't need to germinate them. They'll germinate right down in here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to press it right down into the soil. Just like that. I'm going to put 2 in each one just in case one doesn't germinate, because I'm keeping the symmetry of the pot. There we go. The other thing I like about pushing seeds down in my pots, it's so fun to, when I come out to check on them, to see that something new is growing. The soil that I used to put down in here was potting soil, and it was very damp. You never want to put dry soil in any kind of a pot or even into the ground. It needs to be damp. So I'm not going to water this until I hang it back up because it'll become too heavy. But I am going to replant that other pot and we'll go out in the front and hang them up. I have these hanging ones here in the back and they need a little attention. So we'll get to those next.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Afternoon, we lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. goes the day.
I have my hanging basket all trimmed up just the way I like it. And I think it's going to really beef up in the spring, summer, and even through the fall. Now, what I do to keep it going is I feed it with liquid fertilizer. This is blue. It comes in granules. I put a tablespoon in here, and then on the very top, and this just depends on which one you have, I put 1 tablespoon. So it's 1 tablespoon per gallon that it's feeding my plants. And that's about the ratio. When you scoop out some of that blue fertilizer and you put it in a 1 gallon watering can and fill it with water, then that's exactly the correct ratio. So that's the ratio that this hose feeder is going to be doing for mine. So let me step back and just show you. It's super easy. I've got the hose on so it's ready to fire, and then I just go around my whole garden and do this once a month, and that way they have plenty of food to keep going all through the season. As you can see, it's dripping down out of here a little bit. Now I put another plant underneath it to catch all of that water, because not only am I saving water, but I'm also catching nutrients and the plant food that's dripping down through. So I'm actually watering 2 plants in one. I love the way these hanging baskets came out. They are so beautiful. The flowers and the colors, they're just screaming spring to me. So I'm very excited to hang them right here in front of my window so we can see them when we come into the house and when we can see them from the living room as well. And this is what my guests will see when they come into our entrance. I hope these little tricks that I gave you today were really helpful. It took me a lot of years to figure out to put liners into these baskets, and it really works. It does a great job. Well, there's so many things we can talk about in the garden, but that's all I've got for today. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.